Yay, yay.
Welcome to Getcha Popcorn Ready podcast. This is your T.O.
And your man Hatch is in the building. What it do, T? What's up, buddy?
Man, you know, I feel good about myself. I look good, feel good. I feel like it's game day.
You know what's
one
fun?
of the top corners coming up on this show, so I got to be ready. You know what I mean?
You know, I keep telling people what's the word I'm looking for? There's some type of relationship. I don't know what word I'm looking for between a receiver and a corner. It's just something special about it. I'm going to find out the word and I'm going to get that to you people. But there's the relationship between receivers and corners is like no other. I don't know what it is amongst. It's not a husband and wife thing. It's just something there, you know.
That other side of your brain, that word finding section of your brain, is not really working for you right now.
Yeah, but you can't find the word neither. So you have the same.
Because I don't know what word you're looking for.
But you know the relationship I'm talking about between a receiver and a corner. There's something there. I just don't know.
No, there is no relationship. It's like oil and water.
Okay.
It's like oil and water. We don't get along. There is no relationship.
There you go. Well, welcome to Get Your Popcorn Ready podcast. And this week, ladies and gentlemen, we have one of the best NFL and college football players that we've ever seen. We don't know we've ever seen him because it's like we kind of forget his accolades. Right. But Charles Woodson is coming to the show, ladies and gentlemen. And Charles Woodson not only does he have a Super Bowl ring, but he also was a 9-time Pro Bowler. He also was a first-team All-Pro and a 4-time second-team All-Pro. He was also Defensive Player of the Year. He was also Defensive Rookie of the Year. 2 times he led the NFL in interceptions. He was on the NFL 2000 All-Decade team. He was a national champion and a Heisman Trophy in college. And he was also Mr. Ohio when he was in high school. So there you have a few of his accolades. He has more, but again, he's played corner. He's played safety. The guy can do it all. I'm just wondering, why are we not talking about Charles Woodson in the top 5, top 10 football players of all time? Like we do some of these. Like we do some of these other guys.
Now we have him right here on the Get Your Popcorn Ready podcast with myself and Hatch. He's coming on our show, and I am looking forward to this conversation. As you said, the list of accolades, they go on and on and on and on. Man, I mean, it's longer than the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution. What else are you going to come out of the hat with? But like you said, this guy has done it all. Heisman Trophy winner, like I said. I mean, it's like the pinnacle in college for a player. The Heisman.
Absolutely.
I mean, man, that's crazy. So I'm looking forward to wrapping it up, chopping it up with Charles and seeing what he's been up to, man.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, join us on Get Your Popcorn Ready podcast on the Himalaya app or subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
And yeah, if you want to check out all the content, this nothing but beauty that you guys hear at all times, if you want to put a face with the voices, please tune into my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Terrell Lawrence.
You probably get to see me more than you get to see him, though, so definitely tune in. Coming up, ladies and gentlemen, Charles Woodson on Get Your Popcorn Ready podcast.
It's quality, not quantity.
So in the building, we got my man, Charles Woodson, in the building. What's up, young fella?
Man, what's up, man? Hey, glad to be on with y'all fellas, man. I like what y'all doing, man. So this is cool, man. Glad to be on with you.
We appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you Super Bowl champ, 9-time Pro Bowler, 4-time first-team All-Pro, 4-time second-team All-Pro, NFL Defensive Player of the Year, NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year. What have you not done in the football space, my guy?
Damn.
and there's more. I just kind of cut it off at that. There's more, too.
Yeah, I know, man. I'm like, man, he got all the accolades.
Got them all, baby.
Well, somebody told me I've never gotten a safety before, so you can put that on on the things I haven't done. I haven't gotten a safety, man, so leave that off the books.
That's fun. Yeah, so of course you played corner and you played safe in the league, right? You played in the AFC and the NFC. Of course, won the Super Bowl ring with the Packers. Then you went back to the AFC. Usually, you don't have any of the players that kind of go back and forth from conferences. What's some of the differences between the AFC and the NFC that you kind of saw during your playing days?
Man, I think with the AFC, back in those days, I think it was more of ground and pound. Pro set offense. 21 personnel, try to run the ball downhill. Our teams were kind of like that. We had Charlie Garner, who was, he was kind of like our scat back, could kind of do it all. But then we had Zach Crockett, Tyrone Wheatley, guys that would change it up and then come in and pound that ball. And then you worked your play action, off of that. Then I think going to the NFC, they tried to throw it around, a little bit more. So, for me, it was a lot more opportunities in the games to really get the ball. And you can see throughout my career, that's kind of when my interception numbers really, took off in my time there in Green Bay. So I think that was probably, the biggest difference I would see.
Right. No, of course, T and myself playing receiver in the league, for the times we did, we know the mentality of a corner, right? The corner, he thinks he's the number one athlete. He thinks he can do it all, right? He's the best dude on the defense. As a corner, that's their mentality. So we see a corner like yourself, and when they say switch to safety, did you at all take that as I can't do what I used to do, or did you see that as something more positive, like saying I'm helping the team and I'm helping myself prolong my career?
Well, I really took it as a challenge, because what's interestingly is that the year before Green Bay let me go, I led the league in interceptions as a corner.
Right.
So you get a little older, and sometimes they do kind of, pigeonhole you or put you into a box. And it was when I got let go and I was a free agent, then all of a sudden teams were like, we see you as a safety. Like, I hear you, but shit, I just had 7 interceptions.
Right. What you talking about?
Hurt my collarbone again. But then at that point, man, I just took it as a challenge because I've always felt like, man, I'm a football player, whether it's corner or whatever, just put me on the field. So, it was fine. I knew I could go out there and do it and get it done. And so, when teams said, hey, we see you as a safety, I was like, all right, shit, I'll do it. I know I want to keep playing football. I still had a lot of football left in me. So let's do it. And I'll go out there and grind and make plays for you.
There it is. Yeah. Well, shoot, of course, let's say we're sitting here talking to Charles Woodson, 18 years in the NFL, go all the way back. You won the Heisman coming out of Michigan, and you were the only defensive player to win the Heisman. So like through that process of, all the success from the outside looking in, you didn't look like you had a lot of adversity. You know what I'm saying? It's like everybody thinks it happens. It's easy. Of course, we know it's not easy. But it's like for these last, that your career has been all ups, it seems like. Give us some adversity, some time that you might have been like down during the career, something you had to overcome that other people might not know.
Yeah, before you answer, because everybody knows, obviously, you played in Michigan, playing in the Rose Bowl, bowl games every year. I know as really just in college and in the pros and just really knowing who you are and seeing the highlights. Yeah, like it always seemed like you were always, on the great end, on the great end of things. Nothing seems to has been a challenge. Everything always seemed easy. But as football players, and we know that there's always uphill battles, there's challenges, there's obstacles. So that's a great question that Hatch asked, because our listeners, again, sometimes they don't know, they don't understand, the trials and the tribulations and just the obstacles that it takes and the hurdles that it takes to get where we are.
Yeah. It's always, like you said, it's the things that, people don't see. I played 18 years and a lot of it seems good, but right around that midpoint, right before I went to Green Bay, I started dealing with a lot of injuries, like little, what do they call them, the little nagging injuries. Yeah. So I went through turf toe. I broke my shoulder. Then I broke my leg twice. So I missed some games there, and it just seems like every year I was just dealing with just some little nagging little injury, and then it kind of started to wear on me. And then I remember, the Super Bowl year, interesting because I broke my shoulder in the second game of the season, and against Pittsburgh. And then it's funny because my first game back, I missed 5 games. My first game back, we played against San Francisco in T.O.
Oh, word?
T.O. jumped on my ass that day.
What'd you give him, T? What did you give him? You give him 2?
It got ugly, man.
Really?
Ugly. Yeah, it got ugly.
I think,
funny story about that because the week I was coming back, I was standing on the week I came back, which was the first game against San Fran, and I was standing by Al Davis, and Al was like, "Hey, how you feeling?" I was like, "Yeah, man, I'm feeling all right, man. I'm good." He was like, "Yeah, that sounds good, but I don't know if I want to point against this guy this week." I was like, "What you mean, Al?"
Right.
Yeah, I think it's going to be too big and too physical for you this week. I'm like, nobody trying to hear that shit, Al.
Nobody trying to hear that, man.
Don't worry about it, man. So I went out there, man, and like I said, it got ugly, man.
Did Al say anything to you afterwards?
Al was looking out for you, man.
He was trying to, but I mean, you know how it is. Like you said, we ain't trying to hear that shit, man.
No, right.
So little things like that, the injuries, just kind of mount up. And then I played in the Super Bowl on a broken leg. I had the surgery, and so I played the playoffs, on that leg where I put the plate in. So I played 3 games. So I feel like I'm giving my all to the team, right? So I'm like, okay, next year I'll come back healthy. And now I'm really looking for, starting to look for a new deal now, with the team. And I'm like, shit, I just gave you everything. I played in the playoffs with a broken leg, plate, and they weren't having it. So I ended up getting, franchised twice, which, ended up being great. But of course, players, we all want that deal. And then I broke my leg again,
Wow.
my 7th year. And so it was like, damn, man. So I really actually midway through, I was thinking about retiring, man. I called my mom. I called my closest, my cousin, T.O. knows James. I called my agent, financial advisor. I was like, man, you know what, man? I think that's it, man. I don't even really want to do it no, man. I was just tired. I think I was mentally tired, physically tired. And then, so I went to Green Bay when Oakland didn't want to bring me back. And that's really what kind of rejuvenated my career, just going to a different setting, different team, different town. And, the rest is history. So, yeah, man, people don't necessarily see everything that us as a player go through. We just see us on game day doing our thing. And, they think it's all good. But, shit, I was ready to hang it up early.
Well, hey, you from the crib. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. You from Fremont, Ohio. That's what Ohio boys do. We go fight through the tough. You know what I'm saying? T, he always injured. You know what I'm saying? So I can't even. He can't even be part of this conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, let me tell you something. If I was injured, you definitely didn't know unless it was actually public knowledge. The only injury that I really, really had to deal with was the one obviously leading into the Super Bowl when I was in Philly. But as Charles alluded to, there's always in Hatch. I think you might know. You played enough to have a couple of have a couple of bumps and bruises.
I had a bruise, huh? I had a bruise. That's all I had.
Yeah, but man, nagging injuries, man, they're no joke. You mentioned turf toe. And turf toe is one of those injuries. And then for the fans, they have no idea. I hate when, guys are dealing with turf toe or anything dealing with the foot. And then, especially if it's a player like myself, Charles, and then you're a vital part of the defense, offense, and there's a big game coming up. And it's something that's been lingering for a couple of weeks. And then, obviously it's being talked about, throughout the course of the week by a lot of commentators and a lot of these fans. You start to hear them like, oh, it's just a toe. It's just a toe. They have no idea, bro. They have no idea what turf toe feels like, especially for us as skill positions, it's a weight distributing type of injury. So the weight distribution, you have to plant, cut, this, and that, and the other, change of direction. They have no idea how much pain a turf toe is. So, man, I commend you. Obviously, like I said, I didn't know, especially with the 2 broken legs, things of that nature. Again, you just don't know what a player is going through. And I think that's what a lot of these fans now you talk about, and I think you alluded to it just a bit when you say you hit that kind of almost like a breaking point, midway in the season. You're starting to kind of like second guess yourself. You're trying to like now figure out your future. Should I play? Should I not play? And mental health issues start to come into come into your psyche, to be honest. And so that's part of it. But fans, we're talking here with Charles Woodson, one of the best corners in the league I know that I played against. But they have to be mindful that, people get caught up in the fantasy football, with all these injuries. Like I said, it can affect what they're doing, but it never to the extent of what we're doing. So, I appreciate you letting me know that, that you're a tough guy. And I knew about the shoulder injury, things of that nature. And I can imagine playing corner because you guys, like I said, you guys got to go against those linebackers. I mean, not the linebackers, but the running backs. And you got to throw your shoulder in there. And if you're not a physical corner, sometimes you guys can be a little finesse a little bit, but then sometimes, y'all want to throw, kind of throw your shoulder around in a bit. But I appreciate you sharing that, man, with us.
Interesting. The year we played against New England in the tuck rule, right? So that year I had I got turf toe early in the year. So leading up to that game, I had taken a shot in my foot, my toe, for like 10 straight weeks.
Ooh.
In that game, you make the hit on Tom Brady and he fumbles and then they overturn him with the tuck rule.
Right.
So it's not just that we lost the game and the way it ended. It's like, man, you go out there and you put it all on the line, man, and, you shooting, and I'm not the only one. I'm not trying to make it seem I'm the only one out there doing it because we all, each and every player out there, you go out there and you play with something, but, your thought process is, damn, man, I'm out here, putting it all on the line. I'm putting this, whatever this is in my toe every week just to go out there and play. And then you feel like you get cheated in the game.
Yeah.
It's much more than just, losing the game. It's like, man, we put a lot of time and effort into trying to win this game. You go on the road, cross the country, you're playing in the snow and all of those different things. And you made the plays to win the game. And then all of a sudden, bam, they steal it from you. So at that point, you start thinking about everything you've gone through each week, leading up to that point, banging during the game, whatever practice time you can put in and trying to do ice tubs and all of that crazy stuff to get yourself ready. And it's rough when you lose that way, especially when you put a lot into it. So
I think during that time, and I think you played with him too. We had there was a dude, Romanowski was on that team, wasn't he? Romo, the linebacker.
Oh man, I hate that.
I know, but it's like I think people understood what he was putting himself through as an athlete, but I don't think people understand that we all do that. Like he was just outgoing with it. He would, let the media know, and had all these pills. Like we was all doing that. Everybody had to do that after week one. Like you had to have something to go ahead and get your mind and your body right.
No, not everybody. Speak for yourself. I was good. I was good.
You out your mind. You did you had the hyperbaric chamber or something like that you slept in? That's part of it.
That wasn't until like late in the season, late in my career.
Man.
Hey, like I said, I did. You know what? The probably the most painful thing I think outside of turf toe that I had to deal with was high ankle sprains.
Yeah,
those are no jokes. But I wanted to just go back to something that Charles talked about, and that was one of my next questions that I was going to ask. He talked about the tuck rule, and obviously that rule has come into play because of that particular game. And so obviously snowy game, a game that you guys honestly you should have won. When you say they stole that game from you guys, they literally did that. I'm talking about ski mask on, everything. They straight robbed you guys. How? Because watching that game, I'm like, man, there's no way, especially with replay and things of that nature, they got it wrong even after looking at the replay. as a defensive player and obviously, team goals. You get to go to the Super Bowl. How long did it take for you personally, and you think the team? How long did it take for you guys to get over that? Because that right there was a momentum changer. That was a big play, huge play in that game.
Shit, you can't get over it really. I think from a personal standpoint, I've had a successful career, so I don't harp on it at all.
Right.
It is what it is.
But just say okay. But just say you.
But what I'm saying is that when you think about it, each year you guys have been in this business, for a while. Every year is an anniversary of the tuck rule. It seems like, right?
Right.
So you can never get away from it. So every year, they're replaying it. Just this past year before the Super Bowl, I was doing interviews about it. They did a big deal before the Super Bowl talking about it, and of course, it's huge because I went to Michigan. Brady went to Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's this tuck rule, which nobody at the time, none of us had ever heard of the tuck rule.
Heard of it.
And all of a sudden, they pulled that out of their hat, and so every year I have to talk about it, and so it's like almost you're over it, but you can't get over it because it's always a part of the game, because it really is one of those plays that when you think about the history of the game,
changed
one of the worst calls or the calls that was overturned in the history of the game, and I'll take that to my grave with me. That was one of the worst calls in the history of NFL football.
Yeah,
it's year 17. We go celebrate the tuck rule. Like what? It ain't got nothing to do.
Right, that's
the anniversary.
Right, 17.
Right, that play, yours is one of the worst, and the ones that we just experienced a couple years ago, the Rams and the Saints game with the PI call. Those two, by far.
Well, let's ask the defensive guy, because as an offense, that's what I think is one of the worst calls ever. As a defensive player looking at that, what did you see? That pass interference when the Saints and
pass interference.
Okay.
It ain't a whole lot to really say about it.
Right.
He ran into the guy before the ball got there.
Before the ball was in his area.
That of course it should have been called. And, make a big deal. The funny thing to me is that, so after that, maybe the Saints, still had an opportunity to win the game. Okay, I understand that, but goddamn,
it's a momentum change. It's just like the tuck rule. It's just like
make that call. The game's over.
Game's over.
Right.
Absolutely.
Nobody wants to hear that. Oh well, they had their opportunity. No. What about the most blatant non-call? In the entire game. And so, people go back and say, well, this happened in the first quarter, or this happened in the second. Dude, we're not talking about the first, second, and third quarter. We're talking about this play. You can't isolate this one play at the end of the game that would have ended the game. So it's funny to hear people, talk the way they talk, and all of that other mess. So that was a horrible non-call.
There it is. Well, we're sitting here talking to Charles Woodson. Of course, you went to University of Michigan. Right now, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on with the Big Ten, college football. And because of COVID-19 situation, college football is just up in arms right now. So I want to go to these kids that are kind of, they're saying, I'm not going to play my senior year and I'm just going to get ready for the NFL draft, right? I was a late bloomer. I needed all 5 of my years in college. T.O. was a late bloomer. But again, you haven't bloomed.
You still haven't bloomed. You're still blooming.
I am. Absolutely. I'll take that, chump. Shut up. But no, you were, like I said, you came out as a junior. If the situation right now, you're going to be a junior, would you sit out your junior year and just declare for the NFL draft and get ready to work out? Because I hate the precedence it's setting for these younger kids to just sit out and get ready for the NFL. But it seems so timely and so perfect for them that it's like they have to do it. Like, what would you do coming out?
That's a hard question. I think it's a tough position, for
these kids,
these young players to be in, and especially because I was asked this question the other day. How would you have felt if this would have happened back when you played? And I just think about 1997 and what we accomplished as a team. What I accomplished as an individual that year. We go 12-0. I win the Heisman Trophy. We won a national championship. It's like, just think if this is my junior year and all of a sudden they tell me, hey, there's not going to be football. So I mean, you wipe all of that stuff out. So then, to your question, then you would have to think about, okay, at that time, I still feel like I'm one of the best corners in college football.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be drafted somewhere. Of course, that year catapulted me to being drafted 4. But okay, what if I don't have that year?
Right.
I honestly, man,
it's tough, right?
That's tough because I think that the Big Ten right now, they're kind of contemplating, or some teams are playing like a schedule of 6 teams, I think, or something like that. Later in the fall.
Because I think you need to play more football.
Sit here, think about it. I don't know, man. I think I might just sit my ass down and train and get ready for, my pro day or the combine or whatever that is, man. Because what at that point, what am I playing for? 6 games, a 6-game schedule, or how many other games, and what about the national championship and all of that? Man, it wouldn't have, some guys ain't trying to hear all that. I'm not a been, but I know some guys need that season and need that tape. I get it, but
I mean, just notably, I think as recent as a couple of days ago, one of the guys, the top receivers, Jamar Chase from LSU, he's opted out. I think he's the second guy that's opted out. Obviously, would he have made this decision had they not won the national championship? Who knows? As Hatch was saying, some guys, I would say, like I said, it's a big decision to make. Do you play another year to put some more film, get some more stuff on tape, for scouts, things of that nature? So it's definitely a tricky situation. I wasn't as fortunate, Charles, to be one of the great ones coming out of college like you or what have you. Me and Hatch, this is the only time me and Hatch is on the same boat. In the same boat.
Not the only time. I ain't trying to hear that.
This is the only time we're in the same boat. But like I said, I watched your career. I remember the game. You got the rose in the mouth. I mean, I don't know what that feels like to be one of the top prospects, getting ready to exit their college year and then go into the professional ranks. So, the mindset, I think now that you've thought about it just a bit while you were answering it, you're kind of thinking, okay, well, what's best for me? What's best for me and my family? Is it worth it to, risk and play versus, now I need to, like you said, take some step backs, kind of evaluate kind of where I am, what I can do, get with the trainer, work on the combine, things of that nature, get your body bigger, faster, and stronger. And then, hey, this time off may have you a lot fresher, for the upcoming combine for you, so you can perform your best. So it's definitely a tough situation for these kids. But again, I think you answered it. But again, being a top prospect coming out of college, going into the pros, that's a lot to deal with.
I would say this. I would say there is no bad decision.
Okay.
Because I think a lot of guys, they're getting pressure from, it's just like, who was it?
Bosa.
The guys that opt out of going to the bowl.
Yeah, Bosa, Christian McCaffrey. Yep.
Right.
Like, to me, there is no bad decision, in that circumstance. It's like you're looking at the situation for what it is, and T.O., you made the point. Okay, you have an opportunity now for the next 4 or 5 months to just get your body in the best possible shape, and you don't actually have to go out there and beat it up, for those 4 months in practice and, drills and as far as, hitting during the game and all of that. So for these young guys who are, who take heat from the outside, people, this is, you're letting your team down. And no, man. There's no bad situation in this deal, and each guy should look at the situation from their own standpoint and then make the decision, going from there. But, no bad decisions in this deal.
Right. I hear you say that, but okay, what about the people that say, okay, well, you say there's no bad decision. What if he decides to play and he gets hurt? Obviously, that's a decision you made. And so you deal with it as it comes. So, of course, there's always things that can happen.
But you could get hurt training, actually.
I could not be playing, and I could, go out there and be playing basketball or something and break an ankle, and all of a sudden You know what I'm saying? I wasn't out there playing the game, but I hurt myself, doing other activities. So
gotcha.
Something can always happen, but whatever decision you make, you have to own that, man. And you gotta go in it with 100% conviction that I'm making the right decision. And that right decision is right for you at the time.
Yeah, we gotta take a pause for the call, as you always say. We gotta give a shout out to our guys over at my bookie, bro.
That's right, because it's summertime.
It is summertime, dude. You like to bet, because y'all tried to bet against me. I can't believe that. You and Mike, of all people. If anything, I thought this would have been like, okay, some biased betting, but you guys went totally against the grain. Bet against me. But that's what happens when you bet against somebody that's really confident about themselves. And you guys thought y'all had some easy money, but it's okay. I'll let y'all have that. But let me go. Let me go on to do what I do, because it's summertime, and at my bookie, that can only mean one thing. It's winning season. Winning season means doubling your first deposit. Winning season means free bets, super contests, survivor, and more. At my bookie, winning season is all about your chance to win big.
That's right. You can bet NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, Major League Baseball, UFC, and then some. The craziest sports summertime of your lifetime is finally here. It's simple. Make your picks, win big, and collect your cash. Invest in your intuition. Select from hundreds of future bets, or you can bet games in real time with MyBookie's live betting.
For those of you like my boy Hatch here, put that big brain of yours to good use. Use promo code POPCORN and double your first deposit. New players get up to $1,000 in free play. Designed to add more excitement to the sports you love and the games you bet. Thousands of cross-sport wagers, props, parlays await. Sign up now to bet with the best and celebrate your victory. Your winning season begins today, only at MyBookie.
MyBookie. You know what? Speaking about the NBA, let's take a pause for the calls and talk about this playoff series going on.
Oh yeah, the Clippers. Oh yeah, they're making their presence felt. I know everybody in La La Land. They all on this, this Laker tip or what have you. LeBron is really playing like LeBron, playoff mode. LeBron. I mean, he's really been, doing what he does best. Leading his team.
I'm not trying to talk about the Clippers or the Lakers. I'm talking about the Nuggets. My Nuggets.
Man, nobody want to talk about your Nuggets, Duke.
Hey, we're talking about the Nuggets and the Manscaped. I got to manscape my Nuggets.
Oh man, I don't want to talk about your Nuggets, man. Well, this ain't the type of show we can talk about another man's Nuggets. But Manscaped, yeah. I mean, you talk about Manscaped and taking care of your Nuggets. This might be the best. Trust me, I like this. I like these clippers. I like these trimmers. Mm-hmm. You can call them clippers, trimmers, or however you want to call it. They offer this hygiene, these hygiene tools, so you don't really snag your nuggets. You know what I mean? So for me, this is a great plug for Manscaped, because for somebody that has no hair on his head, you know what I mean? And so I've taken upon myself to, sometimes I have to, I like to shave, be clean shaven down there around my nuggets.
There you go.
My balls, if you will, if we can say balls. But you know what? When you talk about hygiene, I try not to, at one point in time, like I said, obviously I have, the material and stuff to the what do you call it? The
shavers?
No, what do you call it? The spray and stuff. I'm having a
Nair. So you don't need Nair because you have Manscaped. Manscaped is here to provide you the best tools for your grooming experience. They can't do what Nair does, or they do what Nair cannot do. They have the Lawnmower 3.0, which is the best for hygiene for the modern man, right? Because they have the ceramic blade, they have skin-safe technology, so you won't get no snags down there, and Nair can't say that. They actually just released their Shears 2.0 nail kit, which is the perfect add-on to their Lawnmower 3.0 trimmer.
So what I was trying to say, I appreciate all that. The product that they use, obviously for hygiene to clean your clippers and things of that nature. So I didn't want to use the same clippers that I cut my hair with on my balls. So I had to on my nuggets.
Why not?
No, bro. That's just not. No, you don't do that. So I ended up buying 2 pairs of clippers, one for my hair, and then I put, I obviously knew which one that I used, to cut the hair around my nuggets. So Manscaped is a great product for guys like myself, because I know we've all done it at some point. You use the same clippers that cut your hair on your head. You use them to cut your hairs around your nuggets. So Manscaped is a great product for that. So all your grooming experiences, you guys go to Manscaped. Trust me, they're the perfect package for you.
They're the perfect package for your perfect package.
Exactly.
The Shears 2.0 is a luxury 4-piece nail kit featuring tempered stainless steel tools, and it includes slash-tipped tweezers, rounded point scissors, fingernail clippers, and a medium grit nail file. Their perfect package 3.0 comes with the new and improved Lawnmower 3.0 waterproof cordless body trimmer, performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag for you to use when you're done quarantining or when you're done trimming. The perfect package 3.0 also comes with the Crop Preserver and Crop Reviver. The Crop Preserver is an anti-chafing ball deodorant which ensures you the afternoon stroll doesn't end with your balls stinking up your legs, because nobody wants a ball sticking to their leg. The Crop Reviver is a spray-on toner for your balls. It's made with soothing aloe and witch hazel extract that will give your balls a boost.
Yep. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code POPCORN at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code POPCORN. Take your grooming game to the next level.
Right. Absolutely. Well, again, so you've made it through, of course, in 18 seasons in NFL, and now that you've retired, you kind of sit back, chilling, watching. You've decided to start this wine company, right? A lot of people don't understand that football players, rough and tough, and we don't. But they're like, okay, more subdue after career, right? Kind of relaxing. Wine's going to relax you, just chilling. So where'd this come about? So Intercept Wines is your wine company, right? So how'd this whole thing start with the wine company?
It really started, my love for wine really started in Napa Valley. And that's because the Oakland Raiders training camp was in Napa Valley. So I'm in a great part of the country every year, a place that I'd never heard of, Napa Valley. And if I had, I wasn't paying any attention to it. So every year, training camp, I was in, wine country. And, just from being out there and eating all kind of great food, all the time in the great restaurants that they have out there. I noticed people drinking wine all the time. And to me, it was like, wine ended up being like a centerpiece of everyone's dinner. It's like they had conversations about it, but it was a real laid back, type atmosphere. And that's really me off the field. I'm really laid back, man. And so to me, wine really fit my style. And so I decided I wanted to be a part of, wine long term. And so I ended up, started my first label in 2005, and then now I ventured off into Intercept Wines, which you're talking about now.
Okay,
so, Intercept Wines, that's what it's called?
Intercept, yep.
So you go way,
cool. Yeah,
way
I
back.
got
That's 15 years.
Right, yeah. So I just got into the wine space, if you will. So mine is called 81 Vino. So we'll have to exchange. You have to send me some of yours, and then hopefully mine. We're looking to. I got some samples that they just sent me just yesterday, just arrived. So I'm getting into that space. I'm not a big drinker, but as you said, being on the West Coast, obviously San Francisco, Napa Valley, things of that nature. When I first got out to San Francisco, me being a country bumpkin from Alabama, went to Tennessee, and then I started going out with some of the veterans. We had some team events, and so we would always go to San Francisco. And then I remember, I think it might have been William Floyd or somebody, one of those veterans. They took me to a restaurant up in San Francisco, and everybody was drinking wine, and I'm looking around like, they're like, do you drink wine? I'm like, I've never had it before. So now I've gotten into it. The 81 Vino, like I said, is mine. Yours is called Intercept. And I think, like I said, it's an acquired taste. It's not something that I adopted and had a palate for right away. But I think, when you, like I said, get into different environments, and then obviously you try to broaden your horizons, things of that nature. And then, like I said, it's always a talking point or a centerpiece for dinners. It's like certain wines you drink with certain dinners, this and that and the other. So, and then I think when you think about Vino and what I've been able to do with my career and how people see me now, they look at me, they're like, dude, it's like, it doesn't look like you've aged. And so that's kind of what factored into me creating the Vino.
Old as heck. What you talking about? You look like you're 55. What are you talking about, man? They lied to you, man.
Fine wine doesn't age. So that's what factored into my, my name. So, man, that definitely.
Let me correct you, T.O. You age like a fine wine.
Yeah, that too. That too. Yeah.
I'm gonna help you out.
Yeah. Age like fine wine. Yeah.
All right. So you've been doing the wine business for 15 years. And so give us some like direct correlation between like the entrepreneurship and the wine space and your football career. Like what's something that you've taken from football, learning from your football space, and kind of acquired that to this company as well?
I think it's really the teamwork. I think that's probably the biggest part of it. You guys have been on teams that have won, you've been on teams that have lost. And, the most important thing is that, each person on the team, your most successful teams, everyone knows their role.
Mm-hmm.
They're happy. They might not always be happy with the role, but they understand their role, right?
Mm-hmm. They
know the importance of their role and how to make the whole engine go. And I think that's the same way with wine. There's a lot that goes into it. People might not know all of the ins and out of harvest and the barreling and aging and the soil and the vines and the whole thing, and how weather affects it, whether it's too hot, too cold, and all of those different things. And so you have to have a great team in place that understands that, right? So I'm not a farmer. You know what I mean? I don't know as much as the people are actually, always in the field, and understand, what levels the sugar has to be at, and whether or not, the fog is going to affect, how your grapes ripen. Of course, that's not me. But as far as the wine is concerned, and me knowing what I like in my wine, and then also me being the face and the spokesman for my wine, I know what my role is. And so all of that together has to work. I have to know where I need to be and when I need to be, in order to, truly back my product, because, T.O. is going to find this out. You have to be out in the field. People want to see you. They want to know why you got into wine. They want to know, what you know about your wine. Why should they be drinking your wine over anybody else's wine? And, those things you have to be willing to do. And there's a lot of time and effort that goes into it, but if you really love it, that comes out and people understand that. So to me, it's all about the teamwork in order to make it as big a success that you want to make it. And so for me, man, it's fun because I love drinking wine. And I think to me, the most fun that I have, this is another thing that the T.O. will find out, is when he's doing wine dinners and things of that nature with top chefs around the country, and them pairing your wine and them having their own interpretation of the wine and what it would go with. Like watching that combination together and you actually sitting down and tasting a creation that they came up with to go with your wine. Dude, it's the experience. You know what I mean? It's the part of the game that I love, man, that I look forward to each and every time that I'm out in that type of setting. So teamwork, man.
Teamwork.
You got to have the proper team, and I have a great team that I'm with right now.
Well, I think two things I took away from that is, like I said, you're going to have to know your role and you have to have teamwork. And I don't think T's going to make it. You ain't gonna make it, T. Oh, man. You ain't gonna make it, dog. Charles, tell him he ain't. His business might not be for him. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, he was sitting on that. He couldn't wait till you got finished. He couldn't wait till you got finished.
Hey, I'm surprised he didn't say, man, I love me some me. Ain't gonna work.
Ain't gonna work.
Hey, you already know. Yeah, I mean, that's every time that I get on the phone call. So I'm partnering with Tommy Lasorda Wines. And so this came about a few months ago with one of my marketing branding guys. And so he approached me about it. He asked me if I drank wine, and I'm like, I'm not a big wine drinker. I said, but I've dabbled here and there. And so we're starting out with cabs. And so I'm, like I said, I gave him kind of like my take on what I like as far as taste. And so, obviously you have your 100% cabs, and then you have your blends or what have you. And so, obviously, as Charles say, you have to kind of know what it is about your wine, what you like about it, because you're going to be put in situations where you have to be somewhat well-versed on what you're doing. And so, yeah, when I've had the conversations and group texts with the team that I have, they've asked me a number of questions like, okay, well, what do you take? What kind of taste do you like? So I told them, like, I'm more of a berry and I want it more smooth. And so then they'll give me some input of like, what do you think about a chocolate? And me, when you think of wine, I didn't really think that. I'm like, huh? It's like, yeah, because obviously you have to have a palate for that. And so those are some of the things that I've had to encounter in discussing with my team. They've sent, and then Charles mentioned the weather. Everything affects wine and how it's produced. And so even with them sending me samples, they're checking where I am. They're checking the temperature, the weather, to make sure as they're transporting, they're shipping it across country, that it's not overheating, because the heat can obviously affect the taste. And so that's very interesting. Like I said, I haven't really talked to a lot of athletes, and obviously someone like Charles that has a wine company, his own.
Let me ask you both this. So again, I'm not a drinker at all as well, but does wine take inflammation away from? I've heard that's from a lot of athletes. Or once you get older, you can drink wine after games because it takes the inflammation away. Have you guys heard that in either one of your guys' companies?
I haven't.
I'm not going to be the one to say that.
Right.
That is absolutely true. People be coming back to me. Oh man, I drunk the wine.
Right.
Hey, that's a good selling point. Like, yeah, if your wine can reduce inflammation,
I had heard that.
That's going to be my focal point.
That's hilarious. That's funny. Yeah. But no, we, like I said, it's, we from entrepreneurship to, again, the adversity through your transitions through, again, college, NFL, and then after football. Again, we commend you on the new entrepreneurial wine company called Intercept Wines. And again, we just appreciate you coming on the show. We're here sitting here with Charles Woodson, 18-year NFL vet, on Getcha Popcorn Ready podcast.
Hey, Hatch, let me just give you one funny story right quick. Off of the last question you asked about information. So I'm in like my 16th year. I'm in Oakland, and one of the players says, hey man, damn man, you still out here rolling around, man. How you do it, man? I said,
right.
The only thing I do really, man, I drink wine, man. You know what I mean? That's really the only other thing I could really offer him. You know what I mean? Because he sees me work. He sees how I go out there and do my thing, right? I said, man, when I was younger, I drank more hard liquor, for the most part, Hennessy and things of that nature. And so I said, you know what, the only really big change, one of the big changes is that, I started drinking more wine. He was like, okay, all right. So,
right. Yeah, so maybe it worked.
Yeah, so he went out, right, the next week, and he, that week, he, I guess he went and had him some wine, The very next week, this man pulled both hamstrings.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
He said, Wood, man, I thought you said the wine was good for you, man. I had some wine now, and I pulled both my hamstrings. I said,
hey, you
don't know what kind of wine you drinking, man, but that ain't what I'm drinking.
Yeah, that ain't it.
He definitely wasn't drinking Intercept, that's for sure.
He sure wasn't.
Hey, so when you drink alcohol, man, and obviously people don't
breaks
think
your body down, man.
Right. Wine has a percentage of alcohol in it. So again, you have to hydrate. And I think a lot of these cats, when they go out drinking, and I think you see, obviously with social media, you see LeBron and all these guys, they're on social media, they having wine tastings, they having wine nights, things of that nature. You have to still take care of your body while you're doing those things. So yeah, I mean, just I think Hat said is that, you know, one of the things that, you know, people say that he's heard, and obviously it helps with inflammation. I heard that, you know, drinking a glass of wine a day, it's good for the heart. So I've heard that, but not what Hatch just explained. But yeah, man, I think, you know, you're doing some amazing stuff. I mean, I'm appreciative to be able to say that I played against one of the top corners in the league. People always ask
T. Say it how you said it when I said we gonna have C. Wood on the show. What was the exact words that came out your mouth? You said, I can't wait to have him on the show because I gave him the business.
Exactly. I was just about to say that before you just let me say it. Yeah, before he already alluded to it. One of the games, like I said, Al basically gave him a heads up.
But he was coming off an injury, so it didn't count.
Hey, he told C. Wood, hey, C. Wood, how you feeling? He said, I don't know. This guy's a little big, a little physical. You know, you coming off this injury. So, yeah, we knew we were going to possibly have you on the show. And I said, oh, yeah. I said, I can't wait. I said, my games against Charles, I said, yeah, I gave him the business. But it was all in respect because the thing is, me coming from a small school, and obviously, like I said, I, at that time, beginning to make a name for myself, playing behind the great Jerry Rice. And then I knew, like I said, I watched who Jerry had to play against, you know, throughout the course of his careers. And there were some top corners that he had to perform against. And so that was a challenge in itself, knowing that I had to go against guys like Charles Woodson, Darrell Rivas, Champ Bailey, Dre Bly. He tried to put himself in that category. You know, the D'Angelo Halls. These are guys that obviously looked up to guys like Deion Sanders and some of these other top corners in the league that paved the way. So for me, being a small school guy, really didn't have a name, but was making a name for himself. What better way to make a name for yourself and let everybody know who you are and what you're capable of doing if you don't do it against the best? And so Charles was one of those guys for me. He set the bar. He set the standard. I knew he was going to be, you know, trying to give it to me. And I'm sure he knew, like Al said, I was going to come there to give it to him.
Well, let's get
Hatch. I got my get back though. I mean, shit, it ain't all just one side.
Yeah, hey, well, give me your get back. What it was.
He had to come up there to Green Bay one year, man, and
yeah,
the opposite of what happened the first time happened the second time.
Yeah,
I like
Green Bay. Green Bay is not a good place for me. I remember my first time ever playing in Green Bay. This was my rookie year, and you know, me coming from the South, like we're used to cold, but bro,
not that cold.
Hey, Charles,
that's a different type of cold up there.
Let these people know. Hey, that Green Bay cold, bro. Oh man, that's a different kind of cold.
It's different, and the thing about it is, it's like it's relentless. You know, it's like once it gets cold,
they just keep getting, you know what I mean? Just keep coming.
And the crazy thing, man, is that it could be. I mean, you could see a full picture of the sun. You can look in the sky. It could be the most sunniest day in the world. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
You can walk out that damn door, man. It'd be -3 degrees.
Oh man, hey, I'm here to tell you, bro.
So from your perspective, so we got a little segment we call start one, bench one, cut one, right? So from your perspective, from the safety position, you got to go against a quarterback, right? You got a 2-minute drive. You got one timeout left, 1:50 seconds left. You got to cut one, bench one, and start one, right? These are 3 quarterbacks. You got Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, and Tom Brady. You got to start one, bench one, cut one. Ooh. That's the scenario.
Ooh.
Minute left, 1:50, game on the line.
I'm starting Tom.
Ooh.
Okay. You got your mans.
Even though, what'd you say? Start
one, bench one, cut one. So now one can go on the bench, and the other one you got to get rid of. You go start Tom Brady, so Aaron Rodgers or Peyton Manning is on the bench, and one's go get cut.
Damn, that's tough. That's tough.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna go in the order of what I would say as far as the history of the game. Who's gonna go down where?
Mm-hmm.
Starting Tom, I'm gonna bench Peyton.
Okay,
I gotta cut A-Rod.
You go cut A-Rod?
That's hard for me to say because that's my guy, but
that's your man.
Right. It's not like you said anybody
else, right? That's just those three.
It ain't like you said like Phillip Rivers or somebody. You said fucking Peyton Manning.
You gave us with the cards that you were dealt. You gave us your start, bench, and cut. We appreciate that's real.
Okay.
Real.
So I know you studied the receiver position, obviously. So right, let's go 4th and 10. Right, 4th and 10. You need to get a first down to get in field goal range, right? Same thing. Start one, bench one, cut one. Here's the 3 receivers that A-Rod get to throw to, right? You got Calvin Johnson, Larry Fitzgerald, or Julio Jones. 4th and 10. Need a first down to get a field goal. Aaron Rodgers is your quarterback. You got Calvin Johnson, Fitzgerald, or Julio. Start one, bench one, cut one. Yeah. Think about it.
We making you put your offensive coordinator hat on.
Yes, sir.
Hat. You know, you wearing a lot of hats. You're an entrepreneur. You got your wine. You're doing a lot of TV stuff. So this is the fun element. Don't stress yourself out.
Yeah,
save a little bit of that hair you got, them follicles you got on the top of your head.
We had Calvin, Larry, Julio.
Yep. 4th and 10. Need a field goal with you got Aaron Rodgers or you got Tom Brady at quarterback. It don't even matter. It don't even matter. Right.
Start, bench, and cut one. Ooh, this is a good one, boy. Calvin Johnson, Larry Fitzgerald, and Julio.
That's good. But I'm gonna go start. I'm gonna start Calvin.
Okay.
We'll start Calvin. I'm going to.
Tough. Ooh, 4th and 10. 4th and 10.
I'm gonna bench Larry.
Go cut Julio. Ooh, that's tough. Go cut Julio, huh? Gotta go. Ain't seen enough. Okay, respect. Okay.
Hey, you can do nothing but respect this. This is a Hall of Famer.
This is like that question I said about the college kids, man. Ain't no wrong answer.
No wrong answer. There it is. Okay, we got one more. We'll take it to the corner position, right? Champ Bailey, Darrelle Revis, or the Patriots Gilmore. That's your 3. Start one, bench one, cut one. Champ, Revis, Stephon Gilmore.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna start Darrelle.
Okay.
I'm gonna bench Champ.
Okay.
Bench Champ, huh?
You don't cut Stephon.
Ooh, you don't think Gilmore is on his way to the?
He's on his way.
On his way. That's the key. Okay.
And when I say on his way, a guy was Defensive Player of the Year last year. So
right.
But when I look at Darrelle, I look at Darrelle as being, one of those guys where, watching his career, being able to sit him out there on the island, he's one of the rare guys that really, really do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then Champ is perennial. You know what I mean? Shit, I think he's been to 12 Pro Bowls, so he's got longevity in the game. So you got that kind of longevity, you obviously doing something right. You know what I mean? Gilmore he's the up and coming guy. But I think when you take the first 2 guys that I mentioned, now you got Gilmore, which I would say the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been last year Defensive Player of the Year. The year before then, one of the top guys.
Mm-hmm.
So now you give me 3, 4, 5 years in a row like that.
Then you're in that category.
And you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Consistency. Consistency. It's all about consistency.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, shoot. Now, of course, we could probably know some people on this, but last question: we want to get your top 5 corners ever in Charles Woodson order, right? Whatever, it don't matter. Again, you can be on the list. You can have 5 people that played in the 60s. It's all from your perspective, right? With the top 5 corners in your eyes.
I'm gonna go Deion.
Deion's one. Okay.
Myself.
There it is. I like it.
Rod.
Yeah. Rod Woodson. 4 and 5. So you go put Rod. I know you don't want to put Revis up 4, but you might have to. Let me see. There's some other corners out there. We said there was
a lot of good corners, man. A lot of good.
Yeah.
I might have needed a little more time, man, to go over that.
You know what? I always put a corner in my top 5 that a lot of people never even heard of, but to me, Dale Carter was probably the
Dale was mean, man. He was mean.
Dale was a dog, and physically he could do everything. Though, like he could run, like he could run with anybody. He was physical. He had dog.
Right.
He was just, not the friendliest guy. He wasn't gonna say the right stuff. He go F you coaches.
He was mean on and off the field.
On and off. He was a straight.
When I first got in the league, like he was one of the guys that. Like when you talk about, like you said, just nasty, ferocious corners.
Yeah.
It was him and Steve Atwater. Those are 2 guys that when I was especially early in my career, and my coaches, they were like, yo, you better know what you're doing, because you mess around and don't know
Head
what you're doing, you're going to get your block knocked off. So when I played, bro, trust me, I made sure I knew where these 2 gentlemen were.
Steve
Dale Carter and Steve Atwater.
Yeah.
Boy, dogs. I'm talking about, man, you talk about just for that, like it was almost like they had that linebacker mentality.
Oh, for sure.
At corner and safety. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For sure. Dogs.
Oh, man, I'm
you still stuck on
because, you got to think. When I think about corners, right? So, Mike Haynes,
old Oakland Raiders,
Williams. Like I don't think
Aeneas Williams.
Enough credit, man.
Yep.
For the type of corner that he was. Then you got Champ, like you said. You got Jarrell. Ty Law.
Yeah.
The Law.
Man. Let me do this, man. I know we winding down. I gave you my first 3, man. Let me hit y'all on the Twitter with my last 2.
Okay, I like that. Okay. Respect. Hey,
okay.
You the boss. Ain't no wrong. Like you said, ain't no wrong answer, my dude. There it is.
So you said Prime, Woodson, Rod Woodson, and who was the other one?
Both Woodsons.
Himself Woodson.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
M.E.
Okay.
Woodson.
Those are your top 3.
Yep.
You, Prime, and Rod Woodson, and to be determined.
Yes. 4 and 5.
Oh yeah. on the other 2 to complete your top 5.
Yeah.
That means you guys have to go to Getcha Popcorn Ready podcast Twitter. Check out Charles Woodson's 4 and 5 of see what best corners of all time and his top 5 are. Well, Charles, we appreciate you coming on, man. Like I said, we appreciate you taking the time and come hang out with us on Get Your Popcorn Ready, man.
Yeah, man. Before we go, I got a couple of questions. I know you played a few teams out there too. So what team do you identify with? And obviously you played with the Raiders. Now they're going to be moving to Vegas. Man, that stadium. Have you seen that stadium? Oh my God. That thing, bro, it just when you look at it, bro, it says funky. Raiders.
Funky.
Right.
I love it,
bro.
I got to go see it about 21 days, I think it was, before it was completed. So I mean, it was in the last stages, man, and just in awe, man, because I played I played 11 seasons with Oakland, played in the Coliseum. You guys have played in the Coliseum. And really, you guys know, man, it was time. Even though a lot of history there in that stadium, it was time for a new stadium. And then to contrast, the old stadium with what they have now, and you're moving into the 21st century with this, man. This thing looks futuristic, and it's like,
right.
This is what I would say is this is what the NFL, man. This is what it's supposed to look like. This is the NFL. So those guys got the best of the best, man. Like you said, that stadium, man, is.
Oh, you know what what it reminds me of? It reminds me like the Hall of Justice, with all the Super Friends, that big dome or whatever. It's like that's what it reminds me of. When I look at it, that's what it just, man, it just looks awesome. I mean, it's black, sleek. Yep. It just reminds me. Man,
you know what it looks like, man? A brand new fresh pair of Jordans, man.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. The patent leather ones at that.
Clean as a whistle.
There you go. But just to answer your question, man, it's interesting because, I got drafted to the Raiders. So really, for me, that's home.
Right.
I would, for a simple answer, it would be the Raiders because that's who drafted me 4th overall, played there 8 years, left, and came back. I spent 11 years there. But I could never deny the fact that in Green Bay, I mean, things, I mean? Super Bowl champion, Defensive Player of the Year, racked up a gang of interceptions and touchdowns from a defensive standpoint, man. So I don't exclude Green Bay at all, man. So it's really both. And I hate to be politically correct, but it's hard to go against, spending almost, equal time, 11 in one and 7 in the other, and accomplishing the things in both uniforms, man. So,
And like you said, ain't no wrong answer.
Hope that answer suffices.
Ain't no wrong answer, dog.
Because people ask me that, and they was like, because obviously I played, 5 teams. Obviously there's a lot of controversy, pretty much, with a few of those squads that I played with. So, like I said, to me, it's business, regardless of the perception, and how media portrayed me, it is what it is. But I always, find myself even, leading up to the Hall of Fame. And obviously, people was asking me, well, who are you going to go in as? And they don't understand, you don't necessarily go in as a, with a certain team or what have you, unless a team is actually, I guess, supporting you with that induction. But for me, I think I'm kind of in the same boat with you. I played 8 years with the San Francisco 49ers. And then, like I said, when I left there, it wasn't all, peaches and cream. But then over the years, within the last couple of years, obviously you have new management and things of that nature. We've, been able to.
Y'all kissed and made up.
Well, yeah, if you want to say that, but but I mean, like I said, I now have a statue there. Huh?
Yeah. He just gonna throw that out there. I got got a little statue. You know what I'm saying? They put him up like Rocky Balboa. They did. They showed him some.
Actually, I got a replica. I got a replica of the actual statue. I had to go through this whole little process of going through different pictures that they feel like would identify with my career there. So let me get it's just right here. It's an arm's distance.
That's strong, man. You get a statue. That's strong.
They gave him a little statue. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So hey, this ain't the Heisman. This ain't nothing like that. But this is the closest I can get. But yeah, if you can see that, this is actually an action shot from one of the photos, and they basically recreated it. So that was a great gesture by.
You said, hey what'd you say? It ain't no Heisman, but it'll do.
Right, it ain't no Heisman, but it'll do.
Hey, don't bring out the Heisman on him, Charles. Don't bring that out. Keep that back in the case, dog. Because we know that's like 3. You know what I'm saying? He's going to get the Heisman. The Heisman is like 2 feet tall, dog. He gonna go get the Heisman on him. T.
Oh my God! Oh no!
There it is.
Hey,
Ladies and gentlemen, Charles Woodson has brought out the Heisman to trump T.O.'s baby statue of himself in front of the San Francisco. And he goes show it up close.
I'm pissed off now. You see how he did me, Hat? He's just going to put his Heisman up there. My shit.
That's funny. He put it up. Ladies, there it is. He put his little statue up in about 3 seconds as Charles just sits there with the Heisman on his lap like it ain't nothing.
Hey, man.
There it is. That's thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We have Charles Woodson, the Heisman Trophy winner and 18-year NFL vet, Super Bowl champion, to grace our stage of Get Your Popcorn Ready podcast. Charles, we appreciate you, man. We love you, brother.
Oh, man, I don't like that, man. He brought that Heisman, man. I'm finna reel off some of these stats. You know what? In 2000, I had 12 receptions, 176 yards.
Ain't nobody trying to hear all that.
I had 7 receptions, 156 yards, and I had 12 for 191. You're not gonna come on here and just do me like this, Charles. You get
not on me. That's the first one. Don't try to put the other two on me.
Right.
It was you know what? It was the Raiders defense. I just put it on there.
Hash 3 for 27.
Oh, there. I just
put it. I was sick. I think I was sick.
hey, both of y'all had turf toe. There it is.
Right. You know my pinky toe was hurting.
Man,
we appreciate you, man. Much love, man. Also, much
keep
love.
Doing your things, man. To you. Where can we get Intercept Wines at?
Yeah, interceptwine.com, and then you can order on there. And in the states that we're in, you can type in your zip code on the website, and you can find there's a store located to find the wine nearest to you. So
there it is. There it is.
No doubt, man. We appreciate
Charles
it, bro.
Woodson on Get Your Popcorn Ready podcast. Appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate it, man. And much success to y'all, man.
Thank you, brother.
Same to you, boy. Appreciate it.
All right, bet.
All right, peace.
Yep.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The myth. How you said, the legend, the myth,
the man, the myth,
the man, the man, the legend, the myth. Yeah, whatever.
No, it's not. What are you talking about?
So there you have it.
Not at the end.
The man, right? Is that first, right?
The man, the myth, the legend. It's about like I fumble. It's about like I fumble through the age like fine wine.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Charles Woodson, the man, the myth, and the legend, just graced us on Get Your Popcorn Ready podcast. Not only does he have all these accolades, we also found out he has Intercept Wines. And of course, there's a whole bunch more things he's doing. Again, he's not with ESPN anymore, but I'm sure you'll see him, over the next couple of years doing his broadcast thing on ESPN or Fox or something like that. But we appreciate you coming on, Charles, man. That was a good show.
Absolutely. I mean, I got to know, like I said, I have a whole lot to a lot of these defensive backs that I played against. And then off the field, like I said, we've crossed paths.
Being in the
time.
Yep.
Yeah, a few times. But other than that, obviously, great family man, great quality human being. So good to kind of just get to know Charles and really know. Let us in on how he got to be who he is, Super Bowl champ, Pro Bowler, and all these things. I didn't even know about the whole defensive player of the year. I had no idea.
That was in 2009 when he was with the Packers, right? Yep, 2009.
Right, yeah. So, this dude, I don't have any accolades like that. I wish I did, you
have accolades. You just don't have the for offense. If you're talking about an offense, they're always going to give it to the quarterback. If you have a quarterback receiver combination that put up numbers and they're up for a player of the year, rookie of the year, they're always going to give it to the quarterback. Which is also, he was the only defensive player to get the Heisman Trophy. So again, I get the defensive player of the year, which is, again, I think he had, was intercept. And that's when he was taking all those interceptions to the house. Remember, every time he caught that joy, he would take it to the house. So, and the Packers was balling that year. So again, congratulations on all your success, man. And say, keep doing your thing. We appreciate you having you on.
Man. Now he's a wine connoisseur, a wine aficionado.
Yeah.
All these. I'm going to be right there with Charles. we're going to be doing great things.
Wow.
In the wine world, you know what I mean?
Wow.
So Hatch, at some point, you know what I mean, get on your horse, homeboy, and catch up, because right now we're riding off into the sunset.
Well, you know what? It's going to be, it took him 15 years to build his wine company to where it's at now. So again, he started in 2005. It's, 2020. I think they're selling, of course, a lot more right now. So again, you better be ready to be in it for the long haul if you plan on having success in the liquor/beverage industry.
Yeah. You and I saw how you were just sitting on the little comment that you made about the whole team individual concept. That was cool.
That was funny. That was funny.
Real cute. No, that was real cute.
That was funny.
I saw your wheels turning soon. You couldn't wait for him to say his last sentence, and you were just ready to chime in. But it's cool, bro. It's cool.
Oh, it's all in love, though, homeboy. You know how we do on Get Your Popcorn Ready podcast. So let's go to our 3 and Out segment with Charles Woodson. So I think one of the things I took away, of course, looking at all of his accolades, looking how successful he's been his whole career. Again, I was failing to realize how much adversity he had been through, right? Again, starting with the tuck rule and then going through years and years of injuries. And this guy played 18 years. It's hard to play 18 years in the NFL. And, he went through, again, the 2 broken legs he had, so again, all that adversity, I had looked at his career as he was always trending up and he didn't go through these things, but he did. And so for that part, it's like, I got to, commend him even more to go through this stuff, because he had thought about walking away from the game during this whole process while he, the injuries and all that stuff in the middle of his career.
Yeah. So number 2, I think, would be just his involvement, and obviously with the wine industry, obviously entrepreneurship, him becoming sort of a wine connoisseur, aficionado, or what have you. But being out there in California, in the Bay Area, out there in wine country in Napa Valley, it only seems fitting that he would obviously get into this business and have his own wine company, and it's called Intercept Wines. Yeah.
And I think the funny thing I took away from that is when he was having that conversation, when he was a veteran, and he was telling some of the one of the younger players, like, so what do you do? How you stay in shape? He's like, man, all I do is drink wine. But then the younger player went out and pulled both his hamstrings. I'm like, hey, maybe it ain't for everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
that's
exactly.
Hilarious. That's hilarious. So
that sounds like a good prank if he knew that this dude was going to be the next corner. And,
right. Let me get rid of him.
Pushing Charles for his job.
That's hilarious. But then the third thing for our 3 and Out segment, what's going on right now in college football and with the COVID situation, Big 10 and Pac-12 not playing, and SEC, ACC, and Big 12 playing, like these college players are starting to think about sitting out their junior or senior year and getting ready for the NFL draft, opting out. And for him, he's, again, he was a highly touted corner coming out. So he was the 4th pick in the draft, first round, 4th pick in his 1998. So he said he would have sat out probably. He said he probably would have just sat out, went and got ready for the draft, and again, just worked out with the trainer to kind of compare himself to the time that it's going on now. And that kind of took me, as a shock because he loves the sport of football. So again, it's kind of what these kids are doing now, and it's kind of a right now thing. I just don't like that the kids have to even have that decision. But like he said, there's no wrong answer.
Right. Yeah. That's what I found interesting too. He was just saying that there wouldn't be any bad.
Right. No bad decision. Yep.
In addition to what you were just saying, I think I found it interesting that Charles said that there were no bad decisions. These kids, obviously, they had to own it, regardless of whatever decision they made. I just found that interesting that he said, to him, on the outset, the outlook of that there would be no bad decisions.
Absolutely. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Charles Woodson on Get Your Popcorn Ready podcast. Again, safety, corner, right? He's going to probably be a first ballot Hall of Famer next year, the 2021 NFL Hall of Fame. Heisman Trophy winner, 18 years in NFL. We appreciate you coming on, C. Wood. Holla at your boy, hometown hero from the OH-10. That's Ohio for you, T. I know you don't know what the OH-10 is. But, that's how we do.
Man, I know what the 10 is. That 10 is the I and the O. I ain't that slow.
Hey.
Get out of here with all of that.
Hey, y'all Alabama education ain't the top. You know what I'm saying? So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Get Your Popcorn Ready podcast. Holla. And don't forget to subscribe on the Himalaya app or wherever you get your podcasts.
And obviously, to catch the video version of the show, go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Terrell Owens.
Till next time, boys and girls. Peace.